How about now? I bet we do now. I don't know why it was turned off. Hey, y'all. Andrew Reed, Mossy Creek Mushrooms. Like I said, really thought I had my shit together today, guys. With me is my ever-lovely wife, Samantha.
Hey.
Today, joining me is Josiah of
Extraterrestrial Fungi.
There we go. And today's word is...
Failsafes.
There we go. Get yours today. Well, like I was saying, Josiah, before we figured out we had no sound, thank you, whoever saved us. Well, a lot of people.
A whole slew of
Slew
individuals.
of people. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, on point.
Today's topic was failsafes. It was Josiah's idea, and because of that, and you had a particular subject in mind with that, I figure I'll let you kind of take it to begin with, and then I'll add, since I'm kind of the, I guess, more experienced farmer, I'll come in and fill in the gaps. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Most of my stuff is going to be basic. I'm excited to kind of hear maybe about some of yours as well. So.
I mean, I'll try to make it as exciting as possible.
Yeah.
The problem is, I have found, it's really hard to make infrastructure sound sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well,
I mean,
I don't think so either.
to most people, but this is a mushroom podcast, so
That's a good point. Maybe more mushroom people find infrastructure sexier than the average Joe.
I didn't used to.
I didn't either, but I have fallen in love with it.
Yes.
Give me some roads and bridges, please.
Yeah. So yeah, this idea actually came to me a conversation, of course, after the podcast a couple weeks ago. I got a shipment of soy holes, and the size of the pellets was different. And so I was discussing this with you that what ended up happening was we ran production for a couple weeks, not testing, not weighing the bags or anything, and we were dropping almost like a half pound more soy in there, and we ended up with some hot bags in incubation. We suffered a month down the road for that, and I mentioned it to you, and you were like, "Oh, we weigh our first 10 bags out of Thor."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's pretty common.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, duh."
Well, and so the interesting things, one of the interesting things is the reason why we do that is actually because Man of War exists in the same building, so we don't actually own a bagger. We haven't bought a bagger. We just continually test. Every time Ben and Bill build a new Thor, we just test it.
Yeah.
And part of the testing is so but it does end up saving our ass, and it's something I'm going to continue doing well into when I have a bagger, and it's permanent. But
I figured that after I thought about it more, that was probably why you guys did it, that you were actually testing the baggers, but that, I mean, serves multi-purposes there. So we started...
Sorry, okay.
No, I was just going to say, we just implemented that. That was super easy. Bring the scale out.
Yeah, every single Thor that goes out, we test every single one of them, run it through the ringer, and make sure it's doing well. And, it's pretty neat, I think, to go in and the entire crew is trained on not only troubleshooting it, because they get to see any hiccups that are there beforehand. And so they're really capable of fixing anything for the most part. Unless it's like super technical and Ben has to take care of it. But they're really good at just going through, and I really like that. I love being able to work on your own machine.
Absolutely. That's one of the things I like, the more simple baggers like Thor there's actually, I know it just looks like a bunch of wood slapped together, but there's a lot of thought that's gone into that, and I really like how simple that kind of stuff is. That's honestly one of my big behavioral fail-safes, is that I just keep everything to its simplest component that I can afford to keep it at.
Yeah.
So.
I try to simplify things for myself all the time.
No, you got to.
It doesn't work out otherwise.
Right, yeah. I mean, mushroom farming, you end up wearing so many hats that if you can't break them down to their simplest components, it's hard to switch from one to the other.
Man, one of the things I do when inoculating blocks, I have to count them into piles and put it next. Like, so if I have 20 of this one, I have to put it there rather than a full rack, or I'll just inoculate the whole rack thinking about what I'm going to do after this.
Because you get in the groove, yeah.
Exactly, just so.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. So you ended up having a bunch of hot bags from a different particulate size soy.
It was just, they were overloaded with soy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And got burned up hot. Did they fruit at all, or?
It was rough.
Okay.
They did, but it was ugly. So actually, the Hericiums took it like a champ. The oysters did not.
So I've actually done a couple consults here recently where I have been suggesting people move into a lot of Hericium.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I have really found with Hericium for myself is having as wide of a market for it. But
it fluctuates like,
yeah,
I mean, kind of like crazy for me. It seems that every time I up production, by the time it hits the grow room,
nobody wants
demand is down again, and then it goes right back the other way.
I think that if somebody had it consistently, because it was that way for oysters for me. Yes,
that's what I was about to say.
Yep. I really think that somebody could make, and Hericium is, in a way, it's like the easiest mushroom to grow, and in another way, it's way harder than oysters. So,
well, we found that exact same sentiment of demand. Hey, we're excited about this. Do you have it? Do you have it? Do you have it?
Yeah.
And then you grow it, and you grow it in abundance, thinking there's this huge market that you could help fulfill, and they could have what they needed.
Yep.
And then as soon as you get it grown, it's oh no.
And now we're making lion's mane jerky.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Have you had that before?
I'll bring you some next week. We make it.
You make lion's mane jerky?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, please. I'd love to have
It's
some.
right now we just do one kind of like a mildly spicy teriyaki flavor.
Oh, yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
So,
That sounds awesome.
I've
good.
been carrying, like, where I've been biking into work and everything. I know,
Mhm.
guys, I've lost a lot of weight. Thank you. I'm very sexy. But I've been looking for, like, a lot of jerkies and stuff to carry around.
Yeah.
And I
okay.
think that'd be kind of cool. Like, maybe just have some mushroom jerky, like, as a regular biking snack food. So,
I was hesitant about the jerky. To be honest, I've seen a lot of people in the Discord make it. I've seen recipes. And I don't know why it took us so long. I knew Erin is taking this on, and she's the one that really does it.
Jack and Cheryl have been pushing it pretty hard for us,
Yeah.
too.
So I knew she was onto something because I couldn't stop eating it. Every time it was on the counter, I'd walk by and want a piece, and that was...
I've had mushroom jerky before, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty okay. But then we had some all caps. What's their name of their farm, Smith? All Caps Mushroom Farm or All Caps?
Daisy and...
Yeah, Daisy and...
It's all caps gourmet.
oh, I forgot it. He's the one that can do the real good Bayou voice. Mike. Daisy and Mike. Anyways, they made a Bayou flavored, like...
Oh.
It was blue with a bite.
Blue
and
with a
that-
bite. Oh,
I don't
my
like
gosh.
spicy things, and most spicy things just upset my stomach horribly, but that was amazing, and it was really good, and they stole the show with that one as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as I'm
That's
concerned.
awesome.
So every now and then they'll ship us some more, and like the whole crew gets to it, so there's none left.
just
you know?
goes-
It just goes fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I really
I
like
agree.
the texture on
It's-
theirs as well.
That was our
hard to hit.
first 3. It took about 4 batches of it to get both texture and flavor down. It's
So Todd said, teriyaki lion's mane. Wait, back up.
So it's actually not that unusual. I feel like it because lion's mane for me pairs really well with most Asiatic dishes that I've had.
oh yeah.
Surprisingly so. Like, but for example, I do my own take on soup beans now since becoming a mushroom farmer, and that is, you put your beans in your water, soak them, throw away the water, or keep it, if you want richer flavor. But throw it in your crock pot, and then I just shred lion's mane or comb tooth or whatever in there.
Yeah.
Add no salt except soy sauce. Do a bunch of soy sauce, a little bit of fish sauce in the beans, not enough that you can smell it, and then just a dash of vinegar and lots of black pepper. And holy crap, that is the best soup beans I've ever had. And if you throw in just a little bit of ham or something,
Okay.
they you can't tell the difference between the ham and the lion's mane a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
feel like people don't believe me when I say that all the time, but one of our recipe cards is General Tso's lion's mane.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can
And
believe
it's
that.
dude, it's perfect. And what we'll often tell people to do is go half and half with chicken on this, and good luck telling the difference.
Oh yeah, I would love to try that too. So
I'll bring it all out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Heck yeah.
which we are, we need to talk about the Wild Nights get together in October, but
Yes.
maybe we'll see if we can cook some stuff since you and I are local.
Yeah. Heck yeah. We'll do that.
So going back to our topic of fail-safes, I know that we kind of would drift, and that's just the nature of this podcast. I mean, really, we're here just to have fun. and hopefully give you guys some information. But did you have any other fail safes that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, man, I've got a list. A lot of them
A
are pretty
list?
just,
Okay.
they're small things that I've learned. Some of them have kind of like ridiculous stories maybe that are behind how I got it, but...
Okay, let's hit a couple.
Let's see. I did go over water alarms.
Oh, you mentioned those even in the text, yeah.
Well, water alarms. If I'm in the basement, and I guess it doesn't really matter where you are, and this can just be chalked up to kind of a sensor alarm category in general. So water alarms, I am not a master builder. I did not have a Ben, and it has taken me 3 iterations of humidifiers to build something where stuff wouldn't float back in, and I wouldn't eventually put it back together in the wrong way and press the float valve down and come back 2 hours later. Thank God I have a sump pump in my basement that makes things easy, water alarm.
We've had a few flooded basements.
More than 3 times.
So we've 3 times flooded the basement. Had 2 fires in the basement.
I've
had
not had a
one.
fire yet.
One. Oh, so we had one, and then
The other one was you being absolutely silly with an alcohol lamp.
Okay, well that's not what I was meaning. So thanks for throwing me under the bus.
I'll dive
I mean,
under
it
there
was
with you in a second.
Exactly.
It was spectacular. I'm not throwing you under the bus.
It was a spectacular fire. The only time I've ever had a lab fire was with those stupid, dinky little alcohol lamps.
Yeah.
Everyone always gets on to me about using a torch. So I like the torch because the torch evaporates the alcohol long before it sets it aflame. But an alcohol lamp, I literally had my scalpel, I had sprayed it down with alcohol. I thought it dried. I had laid it in the airflow, but I guess the underside had not dried as well. And so I had alcohol in my hands, and then I ran the blade through, and next thing I know, I'm like, my hand's on fire. So I throw my scalpel down, which now my table's on fire. And my hand is still on fire, so I go like this. Like that. No. And now I have 2 hands on fire.
And your beard's on fire.
And so I'm sitting there going like, oh shit, what do I do? My table's on fire, my hands are on fire, my gloves are getting really hot, which means they're about to melt to my freaking hands. So I just did the only thing I could think of, which was take my gloves off as quickly as possible and turn them inside out, and it did kill the flame. Okay. And then I just let the flame on the table die down, and I was like, I am going back to my torch. Screw this. No real microbiologist uses a torch.
Oh, yes.
That's what you get for falling in the legitimacy trap.
Yeah. Right, yeah. I never try to be legitimate. Just try to be good. Never be legitimate. Just be good.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I like water alarms. I should have. We've got smoke alarms.
There you go.
So
did you have a fire extinguisher in your basement when this happened?
No.
We did.
Samantha's saying yes, we did.
It was on the wall.
You're right. We did have one.
He didn't use it.
I didn't use it. So I guess I forgot about it.
There you go.
So that's
You had a lot going on.
So we did have a fail safe. I did have a lot going on. We did have a fail safe there. I just didn't take advantage of it. So, but
you needed a Dwight safety training day.
Yes, I did. So
I wonder if we can reenact this video.
Oh my gosh! Please don't make me do that again. I don't want to do that again.
We need a stunt double. Tom Cruise can do it. Come on, let's go.
While I'm happy that you think that I'm as good as Tom Cruise, I assure you I am not. So I agree. Alarms are a good way to go. Water alarms. In fact, I love the sensor suites that people have where they have CO2 alarms and everything else, or like everything just went down. It sends me a text message. Hey, the electricity went out, so I know
all that.
Oh
yes.
gosh.
Cameras in the grow room.
Cameras in the grow room. Yeah. That's something I've done for a very long time. I did that with the first time I ever went on vacation with the mushroom farm. And we stripped the whole grow room, and then I was like, how am I going to know? I'm going to be gone for a week. So I just tacked up some cheap $25 cameras. And was at the beach and could check on the farm at any point I wanted. I could even see when mushrooms needed to be harvested and call somebody to go, hey, buddy, can you go get those for me?
Taking orders and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a huge just weight off of our shoulders to be able to just check in and see and have the cameras in the grow room. We even use it every single weekend when there's no one here for 2 days. We can look in the grow room, check things out.
I've been looking at ways that I can actually open up the feed where people can't have access to it, but it can stream to YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to be able to stream like just by security cameras, not the ones that are actually for safety, but like the ones in the grow room, the production area, the production lab, that kind of stuff, and like just kind of open it up for Mushroom TV so people could just like watch us just off all day.
Just put like some chill background music to it.
Yeah, exactly.
People just run it in the background.
Yeah, I actually experimented with that last week. I don't know if you saw, or maybe it was the week before last.
Yeah.
Which was a fun little thing to play with. But
so for everyone who has that secret inner, want to be the fly on the wall, at Mossy Creek Mushrooms, they absolutely could.
Well, I don't know if anybody else that watches this watches like Timcast or something like that. But did you see their Chicken City?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, where you can feed them or like
awesome.
donate and it feeds them or something.
Yeah, you donate money. You donate money, and it like
gives them treats.
Yeah, it gives them the chickens treats. And so
that's incredible.
He's like, Chicken City made like $3,000 in one night, and I'm like, well, that's because it's Tim. It's not because it's chickens. But
oh my goodness!
If people, I legitimately think that if I had a channel with like some chill, spacey music on it. Yeah. And just a vision of the fog in the grow room, I legitimately could see somebody turning that on.
What you need is
because I would have
like a remote control that, like on a little robot or something that people can take control of and move around, or even just a camera that moves so they could pan themselves or something.
Yeah, I like that. Just the little rotating cameras.
I'd watch it.
I think I would too, at least for a while.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Until my grow room like basically started crushing my soul to the point that I'm like, I don't want to see another mushroom thing for a while. So
there you go.
But the cameras are a good fail-safe. That out of anything has probably been the biggest like weight off my mind. The biggest peace of mind.
Having 2 float valves is nice because we've had one fail once.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you talking about for the steamer, or are you talking about for the humidifier?
For both.
Okay. Well, yeah. So for our steamer, we've got like 5 or 6 high temperature float valves that the old ones come out. They sit in vinegar, and Ben just screws a new one in.
Yeah.
And that's been nice.
That's on my list.
Oh, is it?
Is extra everything.
Extra everything. In fact, not because I'm worried about the economy or shortages or anything like that. Not that I'm not worried either. But right, no, not at all. Why would you be? But just as like a way to handle it, like all these ports in China are shutting down right now. The ships are slowing down, which means we've got till about June or July that you start seeing another wave of shortages. We don't know what we're going to see. I don't know, but House of Hydro gets all their stuff from China for the most part. And while I love their stuff, and I did just buy extras, I bought another 3 extra. That alone, I was like, yeah, I'm still going to order a low-pressure misting system. So I've got a low-pressure misting system as a fail-safe. If everything else goes down, I can plug that into water. And if I've got a shortage for a little bit, I've still got mushrooms coming in.
And then we have backups for backups. And
yep. So
make sure.
Extra, being extra is the way to go. So
yeah,
I'm glad that. What number was that on your list?
It's number 1.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go.
It actually is number 1. The Thor came after that, but
Samantha and I've been talking about making some graphics for the shows. So like I can press a button and like a little thing pops up or something like that. Make it
dude, please,
right? But I was like totally like, man, now we need an extra button. Like I just need you need to put a little extra on it. Just a little extra. Just a little extra. I need an extra button.
We have some suggestions and questions.
Yeah.
Thomas Hanna has said that if we could make a video when we go to market on how to set up and how to get going, and I will say that there are backups that you can have at market that are really nice to have. Weights for one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know there have been times where I've showed up, have had weights, and then my neighbor did not. And I've seen other farmers bring some extras for people who, forgot theirs or whatever. It's kind of nice to have not only your own back, but someone else's as well, kind of thing.
That was something I was going to put at the end, but you kind of nailed it right there too, is like people.
Yeah.
Relationships are like one of the best fail-safes. And that just you were showing right there because people have looked out for you and stuff like that. That's what you get at the market. The example that popped out in my mind about relationships I wanted to share real quick. I think one of the first times I was on the Discord, I don't remember what farm this is, but I saw a farm ship mushrooms to another farm to fulfill an order. Like they had,
wow.
And they
I didn't know that.
they put them in a cooler and dry iced. I think it was like Black Pearl Kings that a restaurant needed to have. And
I'm trying to remember
my mind.
You guys are amazing.
I'm trying to remember who that was because I remember it when that happened. And I was like, they're not going to ship well. They shipped a little better than I thought they would, but they just needed to not lose their contract, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that ended up, saving their butts, which that's networks. Networks are way stronger than a sole node will ever be. Like a solo grower is never going to be able to have the impact that a network will, which is why we love our Discord group. So.
Yeah. Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. And if you would like to get on our Discord, please support us on Patreon or do a consult with me or a mentorship or any number of ways that you can get into it. What's that, Collier?
Can you turn your Bluetooth
off? There. I wish you would stop using that speaker. But okay.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Right. So he decided to interrupt the podcast instead of just waiting until. Thanks, son.
Maybe he's trying to listen to the podcast. He just wants to support you.
No, that you know what? And if you would like to support us, Discord membership through Patreon, as little as $3 can get you into the Discord, where you will have a network.
You said shameless plug, and he went with it.
He went with it. It's getting shameful.
Well, then
I'm over here like, come on now.
Well, then stop me, someone.
Somebody
Help me. No, I'm just kidding.
But Thomas also said, thanks, guys, for the great content that we provide.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Happy to do it.
Yeah. I will say also, so for the heat, he specifically asked about the heat. I've been dealing with this a lot lately. If someone has a better solution, then please also tell me. But we have markets where we have to take like 80 pounds of mushrooms, and it's hard to put that all in coolers, and we don't have a van and all that stuff. So, we've used coolers and basically flat ice packs in a giant, like 120 quart cooler. We use boxes that we shove mushrooms in that stay in the bottom, and then we just fill the top on top of that with mushrooms. And we can get a lot of mushrooms into the cooler. They stay cold for a long time. And we'll typically bring just white regular cases for the first stuff that's going to sell in the first hour. And that's...
So then this is about market?
Yeah, how the farmer's market.
I will say that our first market of the year is this weekend. So we are planning on doing videos of the market and our market setup and things like that to help people. Because I know we've had a lot of questions, but this will be the first time we've done market in like 3 years, 4 years? I'm not even sure. So
Like
exciting.
5.
Has it been 5?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a while.
Yeah, you're telling me. My goodness. So let's see if I still got it.
You'll do fine.
I'm sure it'll be fun.
I think I drove by where it is on the way here.
Yeah, it's right down. It looks like a train station.
And train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Had the sign out.
In the old city. They're finally putting money in the old city down here, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. So
That's awesome.
fresh coat of paint and everything.
Heck yeah.
Heat at market was something that really dealt us a pretty cruel blow. Samantha would just try to have the air conditioner on as much as possible, but eventually you can't just sit there at the market with the van running, blowing air conditioning in there. So
Yeah. The direct sun has always been more harmful than the heat for me. So, like, if you can get the sides of the canopies a lot of times, if you can strategically place those, or kind of back to relationships, you make nice with if the managers at, like, one of our markets know our product, and she always is like trying to put us out of the shade or put us in the shade because of it. So
Well,
yeah,
we
things
talked
like
to, like, we were like, oh, crap, we don't even know if we've got a tent. And, like, we found the frame. We're like, where's the cover for the market tent? And they told us, well, like, yeah, if you get here a little bit early, we'll have a tent for you. And it's like, okay, then at least I'll have something in the
Nice.
beginning. Yeah. And she desperately wanted it. She's like, there's no way we can have a Mossy Creek farmer's market without Mossy Creek mushrooms. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be good.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, there's Three Lakes Cheesecakes is there, and I have tried and heard amazing things about their cheesecakes, and they are so good. Our local coffee shop serves their cakes.
Oh, my goodness. I want to bike to market and back just to not get fat.
But their setup is amazing. I'm going to ask them where they got their tent and their backdrop and all that stuff. Like, everything's personalized on it. It's gorgeous. I don't know how much
Yeah.
a setup like that would cost. But
the tent is personalized.
the tent's personalized.
Oh,
The
wow.
backdrop's
Okay, yeah.
personalized. The table covers are personalized. They're like little slips that just slide onto it. It's really impressive. I might actually be able to find a photo for
Yeah.
you guys.
We found the I guess the tent we got, you can have them print your logo and all that on it, but it was expensive.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be cheaper just to order a couple of banners and hang them up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
maybe wouldn't look quite as nice. Because it would be cool to have, like, the sides to your tent, like you're talking about, the three sides with mushroom, like basically a mushroom forest growing up. or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That'd be wild.
it'd be cool. This is something I would like to get into is, like, so we bootstrapped for so long that I really, Samantha and I are remiss, like, it's just aesthetics that we're spending money on. And that's not really producing anything. But then again, it's like, well, the aesthetics are kind of what bring people in to want to spend money. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
I didn't do anything.
sorry, Josiah. We'll show you now. Now you can do it now.
Not
It's just I just caught Samantha with the mic on.
with
so.
the mic on. Now we get people walking up because of the logo.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, even if they don't want to buy mushrooms, it's even today. Nice shirt.
Nice.
I like the shirt. Yeah.
Did you have market today?
Nope, just random people walking
Oh,
around. They don't
goodness.
know what it is. They just,
You're like, oh, I like it.
yeah. It's like the one cool design I'll come up with.
Do they recognize that it's mushrooms? At
I
least?
think they get the mushroom. They normally, it's cool shirt. I like. They don't know it's a farm or anything like
Right.
that. You know what they think it is. Yeah.
That's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But well, all right. So you still got a list, right?
Yeah, we can. One of the other sensors I had on there that I didn't mention that has been kind of helpful to me didn't start out this way, but I have like a little air purifier in the basement that's fairly near the grow room, and what it does is turn red if something has malfunctioned and my grow room is now sporing into my basement.
Oh, so
So
it's an air filter, but it will tell you when the bio load's high.
Yep. So you can.
like
It's
that.
just another little when you're in your house, and if you're tinkering with positive, negative pressure, things trying to dial stuff in. It's nice to have.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
I mean, I don't think that we ever had much bleeding back in our house from our grow room, but I sure would have liked to have the surety of a sensor or two monitoring that for me.
So we don't have it, and yet it's good. It doesn't happen when things are functioning, but
Right.
it's like crazy to see how fast what happens if the power goes out, say for a second, and your
Well, and
fans
that
off.
basement's the lowest point, and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of the CO2 settles into your grow rooms and stuff
Yeah.
if you're a basement grower. Yeah, I can see that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, yeah, we'll have to post that at some point.
Yeah.
I need a place where we can start posting links. So maybe we need a mushroom cast like Instagram or something. Or I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But some way that I can get you guys links like that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesse says, where can I buy that merch? I assume he's talking about the shirt.
Yeah, it's we're just having this conversation soon after I break some kneecaps
Yep.
to get it.
He had a problem with the printer apparently. So
Yeah, we're working on it. We don't have a failsafe for that yet.
yeah,
And we've had the same issue with ours. Where,
we have
Yeah.
people ordered shirts and we ordered them, and then they didn't come in until like 9 months later, and just awful quality.
Oh,
It's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. However, is it Printful that we're using?
We are using Printful now.
So I will say that if you go to the Mossy Creek Mushrooms website, the Mossback gear is going now, and we do have shirts, long sleeve and short, and even a hoodie with what's that called? Monogram.
Yep. So here's the thing, and I already recommended to Josiah that Printful would be a good option. They have a plugin that you can plug into your website to where people will go in and they order on your website, and it sends the direct invoice to Printful, and they have it shipped out within 2 or 3 days. And so I've really liked their products so far. All the artists that I've talked to, I know Patreon offers merch services these days and a few others, but Redbubble. But everyone I have spoken to, they liked the quality of Printful the best.
Well, and
So-
we've had a couple people buy sweatshirts already.
Yeah, if you guys are on here, let us know how they looked
Yeah,
looked
please.
out and the quality of
I know
them.
Sienna bought one. So I wore her shirt, her farm shirt, on one day. It's very tie-dye and colorful, so very not me. But, it worked it worked out well enough with the black overalls because,
Heck yeah.
yeah, right, it pops.
And a lot of the artists that I follow, like, we have our Patreon, right? The money that I make on the Patreon, I put toward artists that I follow that I'm learning from. And then they have all, likewise, recommended Printful to me. So it's just kind of one of those things. So now you guys know.
Yeah, here we go.
Heck yeah. Gonna have to check that out.
Absolutely. All right, Josiah, lead us off with another listy.
Let's see. Oh my goodness. This one is kind of ridiculous and doesn't apply. Most of I don't know if this is even a fail-safe. Aaron put this on here.
Well, give it to
so
me.
we ran out. Work with the weather is what I put on here.
Careful, she's listening.
This is just because, so last year as we overproduced and ran into the situation where we didn't have enough storage space for the mushrooms, this fortunately coincided with like the time when the weather outside was the same
snap.
temperature as my walk-in. And so we have our screened-in porch, and we kept our coolers out there.
Okay, so maybe instead of calling it working with the weather, though I like that a lot, maybe it's, part of the fail-safe part of it is the staying flexible.
That's what
being,
it is.
Being adaptable.
Yeah.
Because you're taking advantage of the weather,
Working
for
with
sure.
your surroundings.
There
Right.
you go.
And in
Yeah.
this case, the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So I like that. I like that it's a good point. Or I like that she brought up that point because I think it's a good one. That, you got to be adaptable. Like, anytime something breaks or, like we have that one video where our humidifier broke and I didn't. I had used my backup.
That's the next
That's
thing
the
down
next
on
thing.
my list, which I've had to do when my power's gone out for a long time, is use a hose to spray the ceiling in the floors.
Yep,
And
that's exactly where I was
Yeah.
going with that. Yeah, so
which surprisingly worked, well enough to get me through that.
It's
Andrew
not
and I
ideal,
have been in
but-
there,
No,
both of us, both hands, 4 bottles with misting bottles, just squeezing. Mushrooms.
Yep. that was back in our. Oh my gosh, that may be like the very first video or second
Yeah.
video on the Mossy Creek Mushrooms channel. It's just like in the basement of bags hanging down. They look gross. And I was like, oh,
They
the
look
new
gross.
humidity system. Man, I really thought I was sharp shit back
They
then. so-
definitely settled. Like, they just kind of slid down the tubing.
Yeah.
But they didn't look gross to me. It was just not as beautiful and majestic and pretty as what our grow rooms look like now with the nice rows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for the day that I look back on like the videos of the grow room now, and I'm just like, man, I really thought I was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what does your future grow room look like then?
I don't know.
You don't know?
If I knew that, my grow rooms would be the current future grow rooms. So
Currently, we're kind of trying out anything and everything and just sort of sharing with everyone what
Gotcha.
everything does.
Yeah.
And then I think
well,
we'll kind
and
of...
one of the problems I have is that I like the second style room with the rolling shelves and
Yes.
But the problem that I have is that it's quite infrastructure heavy. You got to have all those shelves, and It's probably the cheapest, most efficient grow room we've got, but it is, for some reason, so much harder to monitor humidity and keep our humidity correct. Like, the room is always slightly wet, which I don't like. And then the infrastructure itself is just so expensive because most, like, the big casters that we've got on those shelves are aftermarket casters. So all the ones that come from Amazon, you know, you're paying $200 for a shelf, and then you got to pay another, you know, $50 or so for the big casters.
It's expensive.
Yeah, and it is. But the good news, once you buy each piece, you've got that piece for a good long time. But
Would you say you would want your casters to, you know, looking at Failsafe, right? You would set up your infrastructure to where your casters can handle twice the amount of what the shelf will.
yeah, I mean, so we get the heavy duty ones that
They're quite large.
yeah, and they're made for more weight than what they're carrying by a good amount. And I have found that's these little Amazon ones that say they can handle that weight.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they can't handle that weight. The little teeny tiny wheels just get bogged down on anything.
Well, and they make the shelf kind of
Dangerous. Like, we've had employees
Warp and
pull
tip
shelves
it.
down on top of themselves, you know, and
We
I
had
don't like
one
that.
break on Monday.
that's a bad day.
I mean, it could have been worse. It was loaded up with blocks that we had just, like production blocks, so we just had to kind of like pick them up and reseal them and put them in the sterilizer. It was on the way to the barrels.
Gotcha.
But it, I don't know. We use the ones we get from Costco, and I have not swapped casters yet because Costco has like I'll return the one that broke and get another one. They're basically disposable for me. But Loctite on the Costco ones gets them to last for. That's the first time I've had it happen in, I don't even know, almost a year now.
Okay. Heck yeah.
But we're not putting quite as many, I don't think, as
What we
you
are.
wouldn't. Yeah, they're not wide enough to really use for fruiting, and
Gotcha.
yeah, we're just rolling stuff around.
Understood.
Do you have? Why do you think your room stays wet, or why you have?
So I think
issues
it's because
with-
we're using the other style humidifier.
Oh, that's right.
And so it's open top, which means that it builds humidity much quicker.
Yeah.
Which I like, because the biggest problem is, though, on the solid shelves, the wood and PVC, we can run that sensor through the wall, the wire, and then put it in the middle of the room. I can't do that with I have to put it somewhere. There is nowhere to tie that sensor off except above the humidifier, which, if the fan's blowing down, I'm getting the driest point of the room. Right? Like, it's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
and so
need a longer cord.
That's what I was going to ask, if you could
That's-
find a longer cord.
yeah, we're working on it. We're gonna have I've basically just pulled it down to where it hangs down right next to the fan, because that fan ends up blowing humidity
Yeah.
away, but then it kind of recycles some of it back through the fan itself, and that has helped a lot. Just this past week, the room's dried out some, so
That's frustrating, though, having to.
sit there and finagle with it constantly.
Yeah, and just figure out what spot this sensor is gonna, for some reason, do. Yeah, that's figuring out the way everything's moving, and that's I've struggled with. I actually am still back on timers right now, just because it's been annoying.
Since the one problem I have with sensors, and it's at least with the cheap sensors, is
Yeah.
that they go bad so easily.
That's what I
Yeah.
got tired of, replacing the humidistat one.
Yeah, and timers are not bad in my opinion, because you can set it to where it basically over soaks a room. And a lot of people don't realize this. When they see that fog off the House of Hydro fogger, that's not what's humidifying your room. What's the point at which you gain humidity in that room is that fog actually evaporates. So honestly, if you've got too much fog, if you got fog going all the way through your room, you're probably wasting some humidity at that point. But the good news is that if you're running on timers, which is what I was the direction I was actually trying to go before my ADD kicked in, is that you can actually wet the floor somewhat, and then just allow that evaporation to happen.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, or just get a good idea. The one thing I don't like about timers is that they're not responsive to rainy days. or extra dry days.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
which
where
has
you can-
always been the struggle.
Well, especially
which is,
here in East Tennessee.
Yeah, it's gotten a little easier with the mini split and stuff that we've. Conditions are the most stable they've ever been, and it's been working. I also have a what is it, like an Oberon, like a heavy duty humidity sensor that I'm just with a 20-foot cord that I can put basically anywhere in the grow room. I'm just it's on the list.
So I've not used one of those before. But
Yeah, it's meant for like a smoker or something like that. So it's beefy. This sensor is like that big.
That's
And the
awesome.
cord is thick. It like locks in to the
seriously? So
it's beefy. Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to get Samantha made a face like and I was like, I was trying to get it. So I'm seeing some interesting stuff going on in the chat right now about mushroom fishing bait.
That's what I was getting tickled about.
Yeah, I saw you over there getting more and more tickled, and so I looked at the chat.
That was just Jesse's comment of, please tell me mushroom fish bait is a thing.
I hope mushroom fishing bait is a thing. Like, if nothing else, the mealworms that we grow off of the mushrooms can be. But oh my gosh, don't don't
Stay calm.
Yeah, stay calm. We're all good. Oh, he's inspecting. He got this little light, and don't shine it in his eyes, Maiko. Like, and he's been looking around to see. I don't know if maybe he's trying to see where he left all the blood and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
There's some in my ear.
yeah,
The
there's
bleach
definitely.
worked.
Oh my gosh! Here, shine my shirt.
Whoa.
Please tell me there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Thank God. Oh my gosh. What is that? Oh, that's a predator head.
It's a spinal cord
My
that
goodness.
glows. That's impressive.
Always derailing work, Maiko.
Look, he's got a
Oh, it's
self-portrait.
him. Yeah, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Michael has merch. Where'd you get your merch from, man?
Yeah, Maiko, where'd you get all that merch? So you were saying, just or Samantha?
Thank you, Michael.
Someone was.
Maiko's just checking, making sure we're all not walking around in bodily fluids, I guess. Ugh.
Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Michael.
Right? Oh man.
I do have another example I can
So
give you.
That's fine since we were drilled. I don't know what Samantha was
Yeah.
saying, anyways.
No, I'll give you. This is probably the last good one I have on my list, and then you can tell us some of yours.
So I'm honestly, we've kind of hit some of the major ones I've had, so that's good.
That makes me feel better.
Good. We'll see if I can come up with something particularly bad.
Yeah. So this one, I'm honestly not. I won't say I do it 100% because I get in a hurry and then I say things like, you don't have enough time. But using LC, especially for me when I'm anyone that's kind of new to the lab and getting used to it,
Yeah.
pull out agar and test your LC when you put it to grain
Yep.
and save yourself the headache. Because
We do, now that we have Cheryl on staff, we do weekly testing of most of our strains.
The amount of sneaky bacteria that's been my issue. So, yeah, finding and a lot of that for me has just been developing a process to even just setting up that this is how it's going to go. Put the equipment to have the plates on in front of the flow hood with you and stuff like that. And then it's like, for me, it's normally just
Well, for us,
bad
like
habits.
that was hard. We were trying to find a way to systematize it, but it was getting difficult because we were producing so much grain spawn in our All-Americans. Now that we have the big autoclave, it's a little easier. So with the big autoclave, we're doing more agar, more grain, more liquid culture, more everything, which is great. And the fact that we've got someone like Cheryl who's able to run it.
yeah.
Instead of Jack or I having to do it and then constantly sit there, monitor and tweak, like especially the automated autoclave that we've got.
While being stretched in
Right.
5 other different
That-
directions.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I have blown an All-American, like had the emergency valve go because I've gotten a phone call and it distracted me. And then next thing you know, oh, I'm like the alarm would go like crap. Turn off the alarm so I can hear the person talking, and then I never hear it again. So it's
Yep.
yeah, that's scary. That sound when it kicks off. Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but with that, having
Backup timer.
do what?
Backup timers.
Backup timers.
You
There we
need
go.
to
Yeah.
Set 2 timers.
Another
So-
fail-safe.
Yes.
I actually do that now.
I do too.
In order to get up out of bed in the morning, I have timer with a backup timer and then 2 more backup timers just in case.
then
Because
he has
Do you
mine.
wake up
And then-
before him?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah, I
God.
wake up, get
Yeah,
the
she
kids
does.
up, get
well, the
them
kid,
ready, make sure they go to
Aislinn,
school.
Aislinn normally gets herself up.
Okay.
It gets Brody. Takes a shower and then she gets out and then Brody does his thing and then they catch the bus. And where Collier's expelled and working with me now, he gets to sleep in a little bit until he comes to work with us. But I have that timer where I do timer, and then I just hit dismiss a lot throughout the day for my different alarms that I've got going because nothing stays up here. If it's not in my phone at this point, I really hope there's never like an EMP or something that kicks down like the electronics in Civilization. I'll never remember anything again.
No.
I'm too well trained. But
Yeah, you'll be in the same boat with everyone else. It's
absolutely,
all-
yeah.
We're all screwed.
Samantha, you're smiling. What do you got?
I'm just laughing at you,
Oh, okay. Well,
smiling
if you're
at
laughing
you,
at me,
with you.
So let's see. I'm looking at my list. I see another one. This is one that I haven't done yet.
oh, I thought you said that was last.
I lied.
Okay.
I lied. I'm sorry. I see one more, and I will actually. I don't know who exactly. I read this off. I think Jesse in the Discord. Jesse Campbell. Yeah. So you can. If you overproduce like I do, and you sometimes wind up with too many blocks to even fit in the grow room, so suck the air out, put them in a box somewhere, and or we actually have space in our walk-in. And so what we do is, I know you guys kind of operate a little differently with clients. We only have a few that we're they need specific mushrooms each week.
Yeah.
So this is our way of just kind of fail-safing that in case we run into our, too much soy in the bag type of thing or whatever. We have an extra, 15 KBO blocks.
Just
sitting ready to go. And then we just, they
Cycle them out. Whenever.
Exactly.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. It's almost like having like an emergency food storage or something like that.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the business instead of you.
Yeah. So that's just helped me feel a little more comfortable in easing into that type of an account and stuff like that when you're still new.
Yeah.
Getting used to the
Absolutely.
timing of everything and stuff like that. So
Well, even then, I don't think it matters what size you are as a business. The timing is
True.
always a very precious and kind of it's a line to walk. That's for sure. I know in our case with a lot of our clients, we had someone ask for chestnuts at a specific date, and then we tried to plant chestnuts a week before the week of the projected date, and then a week after, just to try to make sure we had enough, and we still missed it. It's just hard. It's difficult.
is. Yeah.
And that's just the reality of growing something that is living and dealing with outside temperatures, and it doesn't seem to matter how much you automate things as far as having a walk-in, it's almost like the mushrooms know.
I swear that the ones you plant 3
Yeah.
days apart will fruit together half the time.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go, boys. It's
Yeah.
I don't understand.
All
that.
together now, 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. Or you get that little temperature swing and your whole crop for next week comes out
Yep.
3 days before.
And
so
we're
it's
very fortunate, and I'm sure being in the same vicinity, in the same area, just the amazing people that have an immense amount of patience in so many ways.
Yes.
We've been very fortunate to have that. So it is what
Absolutely.
it is.
So I will say, I saw a comment in the chat here from Chips. How do you breed lion's mane for larger flushes, like 3 pounds first flush? Do you collect spores and just test each isolation until you get a good culture, or do you start with good grow kit and clone? So here's the thing I would do if you want 3 pound flushes of lion's mane. Make a 10 pound block.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah,
that's
and
it.
grow almost any lion's mane.
Yeah, you'll pretty much get a 3-pound or more flush. Interestingly enough, we did water crystals one time in comb tooth and made our bags were closer to like 17 pounds with no other solids. Like, it was all water, but they were not overly saturated.
They were intense.
They were.
That sounds fun to shake.
Oh,
or just move around in general.
Yeah, you basically they were just kind of like, yeah, you just kind of like massage the grain spawn in place.
And these are the ones that you can find in the garden center. Like you can
Just Miracle Grow. It even had the Miracle Grow fertilizer in it. So we just took the water crystals. I don't remember.
So you think it was the water?
It was I don't know. So it's probably not the fertilizer because Sporadic has also tried this.
Yeah.
And he did it for oysters and Hericium. We only did it for Hericium.
Okay.
Our Hericium cluster, we got 5-pound flushes. We got mushrooms that were 5 pounds. It was gigantic. We were having to strap the blocks to the shells.
I was gonna say, how does that not fall off?
Oh, they definitely fell off, yeah. And it was, I think comb tooth was actually the strain we were using. But a 5-pound mushroom on the first flush, and then like the second flush was the size of a normal first flush. It was, and then it just kept fruiting forever. Wow. But he even had improved yields with oysters. So one of the interesting things is we actually calculated it out. Like we sit there and calculate it out. Took 100 grams of the crystals and then added water until it stopped absorbing. And then we carefully did all this work. I like the way Sporadic did it. He just dumped crystals in a bucket, filled it full of water until they absorbed, and then just bagged the crystals in a volumetric scoop.
Yeah.
So much better. But that's another way to increase your Hericium flush if you're wanting to do that. So
tell us why not to do it. Since you're not doing
because it's an extra bit of work.
It's too much work.
It's just more like because now we have to go back to hand scooping every bag until Ben is working on a design for a dosing wheel.
That's what I was thinking. He could
so
get that pretty quick.
Ben's thought about it. The problem is Ben is working his day job now where he's had a new kid. When Ben started Man of War, he was planning on paying himself nothing and just continuing to work. And then when he got married with 2 kids ready-made and then a 3rd kid. So Ben is now working a full-time job with medical insurance while working on the side. So the new innovations are coming a little slower than
we talked about this before. You know, all of us having families, all of us having children. I mean, it's difficult to disperse yourself.
Whose phone is that?
It's not mine.
Oh, it's probably Jack in there.
Mine's on silent.
Jack's working in the lab. So
yeah.
Sorry, did that interrupt you, or did you finish?
I was finished.
Okay.
And then looking back at the water crystals in the bag and the flushes, I remember when we did that trial, and I was expecting the lion's mane to be sopping wet because of how just wet everything was in general. But it wasn't, and it did really, really well. It was nice, and we like our mushrooms relatively dry. We don't like to sell by weight. We don't like things to be wet and gross and slimy, and so that's kind of what we were looking for, and it did really well.
It's one of the reasons why we're working on new. I'm working on new brown oysters, like the Pulmonarius strains.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like the breeding program I'm working on. I want. There's just not anything of them out there that scream to me they're amazing quality. Lambert's, I think it's 126.
Okay.
Is the only one I have found. It's the only one I found that smells like root beer when you're picking it, and it is the only one I have found that like just really produces well. So our Venetian is descended from that one, and it's very similar. But I'm trying to buy as many strains as I can right now to start mixing and matching and see if we can't find something better.
Okay.
But they get saturated so easily. And they get spory on top, and when they do, they get this like white slime film on them, and it's kind of a hard mushroom to just get good quality ones, which I want to do. Hey, if anybody's working on breeding programs, work on the Pulmonarius strains, because there's another reason why I want to work on this. They're the only mushrooms that are like traded internationally without like any regulation.
Huh.
Like New Zealand and Australia can receive Pulmonarius strains. They cannot receive New Zealand cannot receive Austriatus. None of the modern ones. at
Okay.
least. So, be nice to get some good strains down there to Tom of Oak and Spore.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Heck yeah, man.
And another thing about the general size of lion's mane, there are, of course, strains out there that grow bigger than others, Bear's Head being one of them. That thing is ginormous.
Yeah.
So, strain-specific and whatever else.
Absolutely. If you're wanting to breed it, let me know what kind of tech you work out, because I would like to do a lot more Hericium breeding, but the hardest part is getting a clean spore front. They're not as easy to collect from.
They have so many points of surface area.
Yeah, and so often when I take spore prints of them, they end up dirty, or even doing William Padilla Brown's little trick of putting a little Vaseline on the top of a plate and then sticking a couple spines on there. Even that still gets pretty dirty sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That said, it's 4:27, so.
Next question.
I was gonna say we got time for like one more question, and then we're gonna have to cut it down. I will say James Mundell said Bear's Head fruits amazingly, 3-pound flushes first flush. That's been my experience with it. If you're doing like a 10 to 12-pound block, Bear's Head routinely produces gigantic. And from what I have seen, Bear's Head is supposed to be a different species of Hericium. As far as I can tell, it's just lion's mane. It's just another strain of lion's mane.
It's like the most lion's mane lion.
Yeah.
It's more lion's mane than others. It's that
Yeah.
brilliant white too. It's just gorgeous.
Brilliant white, toothy, and
Yeah.
its texture is exactly what like it. To me, it is more lion's mane than lion's mane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whether it's a different species or not, I actually don't think it is. I think that it's just another strain.
Yeah.
But
I like their immature state. Like it's like this little rippled loaf.
Yeah.
I can't hear you in the.
I like their juvenile state. I
Ah.
guess that's how you'd say it. It's just
Yeah.
like this little rippled loaf. It's just
Yes.
funny.
Little clouds.
Little clouds,
Reminds me
little
of
happy
those
clouds. Oh my gosh, that
Wrinkled
reminds me
skin
of,
dogs. I don't know what they're called.
Right? You said little clouds, made like oh yeah, little happy clouds. Makes me think of Bob
Ross.
Bob Ross. There we go. Thank you.
Just a
Yeah,
little happy accident.
have a little happy accident.
Don't let him fool you. He was a
Happy clouds. Oh, he was a killer, stone cold
Bad
killer. Him and
ASS.
Mr. Rogers both. That's probably the kids there saying, "We got home." Well, cool guys. Oh yes,
That
John
one was
Flick.
me.
John Flick. We do have a live show. Thank you for thinking it's cool. However, you jumped on just in time to hear the goodbye. So, Josiah, do you have anything you want to cover before we close out?
Oh man, no, I think I ran down my whole list.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it?
Yeah. I
All
mean,
it?
I like this having a topic picked out beforehand. Let's try to pick a topic today before next week.
it's not a bad idea.
Right?
Works
Let's
out.
Let's do that. Samantha, you have anything you want to close this out with, or?
No.
Okay. I will say that I have someone here asking, Todd asking for a Discord link. Todd, the way through the Discord is to go on Patreon and support us through Patreon, or to do a consult with me. Even an hour-long consult gets you a Discord link, or doing a mentorship with us. But for now, those are the only 3 ways to get into the Discord for now. We had it was blowing up way too fast, and I had my members ask me to slow it down a little, so... well, I guess if that's all we've got, fail-safes are very important, guys. Make sure that you back everything up, especially with shortages and stuff coming on the way. Like, don't go saying that Andrew said the end of the world is happening. It's not. You want to make sure you've got backups. When the world gets a little bit more chaotic, farmers rule the world, because we always have something of value. But you won't always have something of value if for some reason you didn't go buy a $30 low-pressure misting system just to have a backup. So back your shit up. Take care of yourself. And I guess we'll see y'all on the other side. Keep spawning culture, y'all.
Keep spawning culture, guys. What's yours? You have one?
I just realized that I need one now. Yeah.